Good evening. My name is Tinuru. It's a very special day today. Do you know why? The students of Speak Academy who have completed level 1 and level 2 in public speaking are going to perform the speeches that they have written in front of a live audience. I'm excited. Are you? I wish to begin today's event by welcoming a keynote speaker, Shamina Pali, Director of the Speak, Faviz Imamudi, respected parents, students, and esteemed guests. I welcome you all to the 30th Speakarnival. To begin the session, I invite Vishwa and Shevan to screen.
Amar, can you please take over?
Haya Istikar. Haya and the magic mirror. Haya and the magic mirror. Haya Istikar.
Once upon a time, there was a little girl to whom her mother brought a magic mirror, and she traveled to her favorite places through it. Are you wondering who that little girl is? Hello everyone, let me tell you the story of Haya and the magic mirror, who is none other than me. I like to read and I love to draw. When I was 4 years old, I spent all my time with my mother while my brother and sister went to school. We played, did crafts, and drew a lot. I drew people I love the most and places I like to visit. Every drawing had a story, so together with Mama, I wrote the book Haya and the Magic Mirror. With my magic mirror, which was actually my imaginations, I visited beautiful gardens, rode a magic lion, met my cousins far, far away, and I found our golden crowns. I painted the palace with rainbow dust and finally returned home happily. When I got my book printed, I felt so happy. Friends, Do you wish to go on magical journeys as well? Well, then all you need is little imagination and lots of love. Thank you.
Vishwa, you are on mute.
Teacher, sir?
Can you please introduce the speakers?
Talal Ashraf, The Careless Accident. The Careless Accident by Talal Ashraf.
I have been told many times by my parents that when I was small, I was very naughty. I'm sure they're just exaggerating because I was just like every other kids. I pulled things around. Haven't you done that when you were small? Dear keynote speaker, parents, coach, and friends. When I was 4 years old, our family and our friends' family decided to go on a road trip on the evening of Eid. It was a farmhouse in a place called Gussie. The house was massive and they had a huge cultivation area. We spent the night there and the next day we started to explore. They had many plants and vegetables such as date trees, aubergine, pumpkins, corn, and some other vegetables I don't know what the names of. We also saw pomegranate, grapes, and fig. Late in the evening, after an exciting day, we decided to return home. Our car was parked in front of the entrance and the entrance gate was half open. My mom and another aunt were sitting both the corners. My friend and I were sitting in the middle. I could easily reach the front. My father was watching the car and the ignition was on. He suddenly realized that he missed something and got down from the car in a rush without changing the game to parking. After some time, as my father didn't return, me being the little devil pulled the gear. It went to the drive mode and the car started to move forward. My mom panicked and started to scream whilst the auntie tried to reach the gear to stop the car. But she couldn't move as my friend and I were in her way, stuck in the middle and had no clue the car was moving. Thank God the gate was half open. Otherwise, car could have been going to the road. It banged on the gate and stopped. Then all the men who were around came running and turned off the ignition. Nothing happened to anyone or the car. Only the gate and half bent. Though I did not understand at the time, now I can realize if it could have caused a huge accident had the car gone to the road. Or worse, it could have hit someone. So, dear parents, children can be naughty. In fact, they are too curious by nature. So please make sure to turn your car ignition off when you leave them inside your cars. Thank you.
Thank you, Talal, for your wonderful speech. Ayan Harris, An Incident I Witnessed at School. An Incident I Witnessed at School by Ayana Harris.
Playing is good. Playing is important. But did you know that playing can be dangerous too? Keynote speaker, parent, coach, and friends. It was only about 5 minutes after the interval bell rang. I saw many children running in one direction. I was curious, so I ran behind them. As all the children were crowding around, I couldn't see what was happening. 2 children are injured, I heard someone saying. So I crept between the children to see what had happened. Two children were laying on the floor with their heads injured. One child had fainted. Those who were around them were trying to give them first aid. A teacher arrived and told us, "Carry these children into the first aid room quick." Then she called on all the students to get a car to take these children to the hospital. Later, I found out that the two children had run from opposite direction and banged on each other. The two children returned from the hospital with bandages around their heads. Then the principal informed their parents. When they came, they said to take care of these children till they become better. Friends, playing is good and playing is important, but you should always be mindful when you run and watch where you run. Thank you.
Thank you, Ayana, for your nice speech. Anik Ahmed. Consequences of impatience. Consequences of impatience by Anik Ahmed.
Yan! Before you do anything, be patient and take a moment to think. Dear keynote speaker, parents, hosts, and friends. When my family went to Colombo last Friday for a wedding, we stayed at my mom's uncle's house. They had a big computer and they let us play games. But my brother Ayan, who was being fidgety for a while, kept dropping the mouse. They eventually broke. I was mad. 2 days later, when we got back home on Sunday, Ayan and I started playing video games on our laptop. After a while, my granddad called us for dinner. I ran to the table as I was super hungry, but my brother kept on playing. But my granddad kept on calling him. In his fury, Ayan came running to the table super fast and bang! He crashed into the table. A glass went flying in the air and landed on the floor. Crash! Luckily, no one was injured, but he could have been. Last Tuesday, my mom said that I should take all the dry clothes down. But while I was taking the last pile down the stairs, Ayan appeared out of nowhere and grabbed some of those clothes. I lost my balance and we both fell from 6 stairs. When I shouted for my mom, Ayan got up and pretended to be normal because he was scared that our moms called us for being reckless. But you know, moms, right? They know their kids like the back of their palms. But she knew Ayan was pretending. While mom was hurrying down the stairs, Ayan silently went upstairs. My mom called me to inspect me as she is a doctor, but it turns out I wasn't injured at all. Then she saw drops of blood on each step, then asked, "Who's bleeding?" Suddenly, Ayan came screaming down the stairs with blood all over his hands. There was a gaping wound on the back of his head. So we rushed to the hospital and the wound was sutured. When we got back home, Ayan learned a lesson he never learned before. So friends, impatience will get you into a lot of trouble. Think before you act and listen to your parents.
Thank you, Anik, for your wonderful speech. Shahina Bandara. Listen to your parents. Listen to your parents by Shahina Bandara.
Have you ever disobeyed your parents in your whole entire life and got hurt so bad? Well, I have. So one evening, when me and my sister were begging our grandmother to let us go bike riding, she said no at the first, but when I started crying, she just had to say yes. But she told me, "Shaina, be careful because you don't have a bike and you could easily get hurt." I said, "Okay."
okay. And I took some dolls and ran outside. When we were playing, a man came. He seemed like a friendly man and he said hello. So we said hello back. And he had two sausage dolls. And when he opened the gate to go inside, two dogs came out. One was a girl and one was a boy. So the man went inside and forgot to close the gate. The dogs went around running and running and running. And one dog went into a house because the door was open. And I was standing next to that house. When the dog came out, it started to bark at me. And then it started chasing me. I started to run because I was so scared. And when I was running, I tripped on a rock and fell on the brick road. And it hurt so bad that I called out to my grandmother. And she came running when she heard me shouting. My sister chased off the dogs with a really big bite. Grandmother told to show her my leg. So I showed both my knees to her. And she told, "This is very bad. I told you to be careful, Shaina." And then she took me inside and told that we have to put surgical. I cried because surgical was really stiff and I didn't like it. But she said we have to put it anyway. So they put surgical and I cried that I wanted my mom. When my mom came, she told she would take a shower and then we can all watch TV. So after she took a shower, we all watched TV and then after having dinner, we all went to bed. And after many days, it finally got better. So dear friends, if you ever think of disobeying your parents, well, don't, because you could get into a lot of trouble. Thank you.
Thank you, Shaina. Ayan Ahmed. Teamwork makes the dream work. Teamwork makes the dream work by Ayan Ahmed.
People think that they don't need teamwork because they could do it all by themselves. Do you believe them? Dear keynote speaker, parents, coaches, and friends, the best time of my entire life was when I was in England. The best time there was when I went on a school trip to a place called Packington Farm. There for the whole day we had challenges to complete. First, you had to go to the woods and find hidden food. And if you found one, you had a ticket on your clipboard. We all had our clipboard stick once we came back. Then we had a lunch break and playtime. Soon after the lunch break, we had a how to be a farmer lesson. Since there were too many kids, we all had to split two activities. First, for the farming lesson, and second, for the final activity, which was race of two. After doing the first lesson, the half of the class that did the race of doom switched into the first lesson and vice versa. We had to run as fast as we could. There were many obstacles on the trail and many different routes. Before me and Kabir were a team. Before the race started, we discussed and planned to find the quickest way to win the race. Kabir did it first and then it was my turn. We ran as fast as we could. Our plan was so efficient that we won the race. Then we went back to the farming lesson and we were given another activity to make a flower bed. Again, we both worked together and made an excellent flower bed. Our teacher and the staff of the farm appreciated our work by giving a big round of applause. That day was a memorable day by our united teamwork. Now answer my question. Do you believe in teamwork? Friends, teamwork makes the dream work. So stay united and work as a team. Thank you.
Thank you, Ayan, for your motivational
Once upon a
speech.
time, there lived a boy called Sethmika. He was a passionate cricketer aspiring to be like Sangakkara. But when he was called to do a speech, he became anxious, nervous, and scared. So his parents decided to take him to Speak, a place where children got the opportunity to become great speakers. They trusted Speak to help Sethmika become a confident speaker. On his first day at Speak, Sethmika gave his first speech.
Me and my brother studies at Trinity College, Kent. My sister studies at Pushpagan Girls College. We three have a lot of fun at home.
Days, weeks, and months passed by. The day of the speech carnival arrived. Sethmika got onto the stage to do his final speech. His parents watched in anticipation, wondering if Speak would have delivered its promise. And then, this happened.
And my brother came running and flung the ball at me, trying to get me out. But I swung my bat like Sangha, hit so hard that the ball went flying like a bird and hit our neighbor's doorbell and went rolling down the garden. My two friends quickly hid. My brother went inside the house, closed the door, and I had no space to hide.
Metugu Vanigasekara, an unforgettable day of my life. An unforgettable day of my life by Metugu Vanigasekara.
Have you ever been covered by a giant wave? Dear keynote speaker, parents, coach, and friends. Last year, I went to a trip with my family friends to the Recovery Beach. We stayed at a hotel named Anilana. We had so much fun in the beach. We made sand castles, played with the waves, we wrote down names in the sand, and the waves are going up and down. Just very interested to look at the ocean. But suddenly a giant wave came over me and I was completely covered by a wave. Couldn't scream. I was so scared. For a moment I thought dragged into the sea. But then the water level came down. I see people laughing and wiping their faces. And I wrote my father's hand. And he said, "Isn't it a lot of fun, my tutor?" Oh my God, is it fun? Yeah, I smiled because he gave me a lovely memory. I still love that day. I had so much fun, my friends. Thank you.
Thank you, Methuda, to your wonderful speech. Dahame Surya Peruma. Rules are rules. Rules are rules by Dahame Surya Peruma.
What is more important, your life or rules? Dear keynote speaker, parents, coach, and friends. Not so recently, last year, my school announced that they were going to give the COVID-19 vaccine for the children who were born before the 7th of January 2010. Me and my twin brother didn't fall into that age category. We were born on the 14th of January 2010. Our mom called the teacher in charge of year 7, and the teacher told, "It's fine. Come and see if they allow us to get the vaccine." The following morning, we got ready to get the vaccine, as if though we were getting ready to go for a competition. When we arrived at the school, I approached the teacher and told her our problem. She said, "Tahami, it's fine. Both of you can get the vaccine." That was great news, but the waiting was not. It was so uncomfortable as it was boiling hot. Finally, the waiting came to an end. When we went inside, one of the persons in charge announced, "Children, the medical staff are going on a lunch break, so please wait here." So we waited for another long 30 minutes. Finally, when the medical staff returned from their lunch break, we took our cards and went to get the vaccine. One of the doctors there looked at our cards and told, "Sorry, you can't get the vaccine today." We were shocked. When I asked them why, they told that only the children who were born before the 7th of January can get the vaccine, and not the ones who were born after. We were so disappointed. When we went back home, we told our parents what happened. Can you guess what they said? They told, "Rules are rules, and you have to stand by the rules." That day, we learned the most important lesson in our lives. Rules are more important than the vaccine. Thank you.
Thank you, sister, to your lovely speech. Pramod Nanayakar. Do not lie. Do not lie by Pramod Nanayakar.
Here I once and you all truths become questionable. I learned this through bitter experience. Dear keynote speaker, coach, my dear friends, and parents. Here a line once and you all truths become questionable. 2 years ago, during our December school holidays, my brother and I were playing cricket in our backyard. My brother asked from me, "Aya, who is the fastest ball in the world?" Then I said, "It's Brett Lee." If you know cricket, you also know that I lied to him. The reason for my lie is I don't know who is the fastest ball in the world, and my favorite
Amar, I think he's facing a network problem.
Yes.
Can we move over to the next speaker, please? Maybe when he joins, we can give him another turn.
Damiru Surya Peruma. No pain, no gain. No pain, no gain. By Damiru Surya Peruma.
Come on, Damiru. I heard my dad and mom screaming. Do any of you have supporting parents? Well, if you had all of them together, that's my parents. I could hear them cheering and it was ringing through my mind, and I knew I had made them proud. Dear keynote speaker, coach, parents, and friends. When I was a little boy, I made a lot of great memories, and one of them left me with a huge mark on my head and a huge impression on my heart. It was the best day of my life. I was getting ready for my swim meet. It was a tough and tiring month. My legs and body were aching. I told my coach and my parents, and they only had 4 words for me. No pain, no gain. After hearing that, I was inspired and ready to do it. I worked harder than ever and never let myself down. I swam morning and evening. Some days I swam for 6 hours. But I had to go to school as well. Doing both in parallel was very tiring. But I never gave up. Finally, the big day arrived. I came to the swimming pool and started preparing for the meet. I was ready. The whistle was blown and the meet began. Have you ever heard of dolphins? Everyone swam like that. But I was the fastest one in that pod and did my best and trusted in my skills and hoped I won. Come on, Dameru, I heard my dad and mom screaming. When the results were announced, my name was not second or third position. It was tense. I was jumping up in the air. I was the champion. I was on top of the world. Me and my parents were very happy, especially me. So friends, whenever you feel like giving up, remember what my coaches and parents told me. No pain, no gain. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. It's awesome. Next speaker is S. Jaruti. S. Jaruti.
Do you know how it hurts when you lose a family member of yours? Yes, I lost one of my family members, which is the youngest of our family. Its name was Rex. It is a dog, and it's a black dog. It loves to eat yogurt. We give many kinds of yogurts to him. He's so cute. He's a lion shepherd dog. My uncle brought it home for us, and it always come around me. After I come from school, we play together, and I take him for a walk too, and I feed him, and I did everything except bathing him. Mom cleans him. He ate properly, and he was a good dog. After some years passed, our dog got sick. We were so scared, and my father took my dog to the nearest veterinary doctor. He was okay when he was coming back home. I played happily, and the next day he did not bark at all in the morning. It was so weird. My mom ran to check, then she found out that our dog had died. That moment, I felt like I had lost my whole life, and I started crying. My whole family cried. Rex will be always in my good memories. This speech is dedicated to him. Thank you.
Thank you, sister, for your lovely speech. Next speaker is Harun Rashad. Home is not home without a pet. Home is not home without a pet by Harun Rashad.
That's made for all beings, not just human beings. Hello, I'm Rashad. One fine day, my father got a call from his friend. It was obvious that it was an emergency call because my father rushed in his car. When he got back, he carried a small box in his hands. I peeked inside of it and saw a small fur ball wrapped in a piece of cloth. It was a tiny, cute squirrel whose mother was killed by a predator. My father had rescued it and brought her to give shelter. Since my father is a medical doctor and also an animal lover, I guess his friend decided to get his help. We named the squirrel Alvin. We fed Alvin milk, fruits, and nuts. Alvin grew very fast. I studied a lot about squirrels and tried to connect with Alvin. Gradually, I started to feel caring for pets at home made me a better kid. I also understood the depth of the love that my parents had towards us. One day, Alvin was very silent. I sensed that something was not right, but he didn't respond to my call. Suddenly, he started to throw fits, which I didn't expect. I started shouting, I was like, Dad, hurry up! It was sad to see Alvin suffering like that. My dad heard me and rushed to the spot. He took a good look at Alvin and said, Harun, Alvin is dying. I was sad, shocked, and shattered. My father decided to give Alvin a dignified death. He left Alvin inside his cage. However, when I met with Alvin's eyes, I noticed he was begging for me to do something to save him. I started crying and begging my parents for help. But they were also clueless as what to do. My father decided to take Alvin to a vet. There was an intern doctor on duty that day. And after realizing our situation, he reassured us. And what he said made me feel a lot better. He said, I will do my level best. After speaking with the senior doctor, they decided to give Alvin a calcium injection. A few minutes later, something amazing happened. Alvin's eyes became bright, and I could see that gratitude in him. I sensed a huge improvement, and since that day, both me and Alvin became even closer. If anyone experienced what I went through when Alvin was sick, I don't think that anyone would hurt or abuse animals if they had pets at home. Because if you look into their eyes, you will see a living being. You will see a friend. You will feel a soul. I always tell my friends to have pets so they can understand them, so they can feel them, so they can empathize with them. So they can not only understand their pets, but all the animals too. So my dear friends, pets have no voice. Pets can't ask for help. They can't ask for protection. And they can't ask for freedom. So let humanity be their voice. Thank you.
Thank you, brother, for your wonderful speech. The next speaker is Nadir. An unforgettable day in my life.
Sorry, Vishwa. Can we please?
Excuse me, sir?
Can we please invite Pramod because he got logged out?
Okay, sir. Pramod Nanyakara. Do not lie. Do not lie by Pramod Nanyakara.
Tell life once and you're all to speak unquestionable. I learned this through bitter experience. Dear keynote speaker, coach, my dear friends and parents. 2 years ago, during our December school holidays, when my brother and I were playing cricket in our backyard, my brother asked from me, Aya, who is the fastest ball in the world? Then I said, it's Bentley. If you know cricket, you also know that I lied to him. The reason for my lie is I don't know who is the fastest ball in the world, and my favorite bowler is Bentley. Brother asked the same question from my father. Dad, who is the fastest bowler in the world? Then my father said, it's Shoaib Akhtar. It was the worst thing happened to me. I knew that I was done for. Then my brother said, but Ayah said, it's Bentley. My grandparents, parents, brother all turned to me and laughed. I felt like shame and scared. I felt running away from that place and hiding somewhere. It was the worst thing happened to me. I know it was the biggest mistake that I have done. Ladies and gentlemen, lying is one of the worst things that you can do to another person. Researchers have linked that lying is increased risk of obesity, anxiety, depression, cancer, poor birth certification, poor relationships, addiction, and many more. Also, it decreases your self-confidence and it shows that you are a less strong person. And it will be a reason for another person to deal with you forever. I learned an important lesson on that day. From that day, I never tell lies to anyone. If you lie, people will never trust you. Please don't lie. Anything is better than lie. Remember, one lie leads to another. Thank you very much.
There I started at year 1. There was PG and KG, but I didn't start from that because I already had went to the nursery. But guess what I did? I started playing games.
Is to be another scientist, and that will be one reason too.
The people around me took the notice of my change and they said, Amy, oh, how dark you've become.
My friend's name is Huda. She is 9 years old. Her favorite color is black.
Your legs start to shiver. Your heart is a pounding drum. Your brain sizzles furiously.
The next speaker is Nadi. An unforgettable day in my life. An unforgettable day in my life by Nadi.
Nadir appears to be not in the room. Mishwa, can we please move on to the next speaker?
Zaid Istika. Trapped in a tower. I love playing football. I love playing football on a rainy day. An interesting introduction. Trapped in a tower. I love playing football on a rainy day. An interesting introduction by Zaid Istika.
Imagine that you are caught and trapped in a tall tower. Yes, just like Rapunzel. How would it be to share a tower with all these strange creatures? Keynote speaker, parents, and friends. Every time I see these people who sell chicks in the road, I pester Dad to buy them for me. We lived in the first floor, so Mom would straight down saying we don't have enough space. But I wasn't ready to listen. Mom freaks out seeing these adorable creatures. This is probably her way of stopping us bringing them closer to her. Did not give up, and finally Mama said, okay. My sister and I were overwhelmed with joy. The first few days, the chicks were comfortably staying in a cardboard box. We let them run all around the house while my mom would keep herself locked up in a room with my baby sister. We heard here a cluck, there a cluck, everywhere a cluck, cluck. We also heard Mama scream out loud, shoo, shoo, I'm not your mommy hen. She would mutter and shoo. That doubled our fun. I was so happy to see the chicks grow a little bigger. They happily grew in our storeroom. But day by day, the room got even smellier. Me, along with my sister and dad, cleaned the room, but the chicks refused to live in the box anymore. Mom complained that she feels like living in a barn. Why not bring in some cows and goats, she would tell. One day, it took so long for Mama to open the door. We kept on knocking in the door, and all we heard were clucks. Looking through the window, we saw one chick on the sofa, one on the dining table, and one sneak past us. But there was one problem. One was missing. We searched for her all over the house until we heard a cluck. She was probably enjoying all the biscuit crumbs my baby sister had dropped in her room. It's okay. Let's give them to Uncle, I said, who was our neighbor who had a poultry pen. That day I realized that each creature is created differently. It is so wrong to force them the way we do. Don't you agree?
Thank you, brother, for an amazing speech. The next speaker is Damitri Ekanayan. Don't let your fears win. Don't Let Your Fears Win by Damitri Ekanayan.
There's a saying, the fear we don't face become our limits. Dear keynote speaker, parents, coach, and friends. Once upon a time, there was a king named William. His father was a great king and everyone loved him. But King William was not like his father. Do you think he was brave? No, he couldn't even hold his sword correctly. He was skinny as a stick and his fingers were like beanpoles. The only thing he knew was to order the servants to do this and that. The only thing he did was reading books and taking intelligent decisions. One day, the king received a letter from a faraway country. It said, "To King William, I have heard of you. My people say that you are a weak king. But I can't believe it because your father was a great king. So I'll give you a chance to prove your bravery. I'm sending one of my soldiers for a fencing challenge with you. It will be easy for you, but if you reject my challenge, you should hand over your powers to me." After reading the letter, the king was shocked. "I can't do anything except being ready for the challenge," he told himself. He ordered the best fencing master to train him. The master did his best to train the king, but he was afraid of the challenge because he had never done it before and he didn't want to become a clown in front of his nation. The day came for the challenge. The king was shivering. His hands and feet were frozen cold. The soldier from the other country was ready with his sharp sword. He was a big man. The king came to the fencing area. Everyone's eyes were attentively focused, but they lost hopes. The fight began. First time, the king failed. But the second time, King William knew what he was doing. With the skills he showed in the first round, everyone's hopes began to rise. The king was inspired by his nation. In the end, King William won the game. See, he didn't let his fears win. First time, his thoughts were negative, but somehow he defeated his negative thoughts and won the game. Everyone feels anxious when doing something for the first time or doing something in front of the public, but we shouldn't let our fears win. The first time I did a speech in front of my classroom, I was very scared. The words were not coming out of my mouth. But somehow, after I started my speech, it was nothing for me. And one day, my class teacher told me to sing a song in front of everyone. That time, my mind was going crazy. I couldn't remember any song, not even my favorite song. Everyone clapped to encourage me. Finally, my friend helped me to select a song and I sang it. With the rhythm, my legs were dancing. Everyone enjoyed my song and they also started to sing with me. The fear you feel is a challenge you get before a successful moment. So, don't let your fears win. Thank you.
My round of applause. Thank you, sister, for your amazing speech. Yogeshwaran Prishita. I have ever found anything that doesn't belong to you? Look, have you ever found anything that doesn't belong to you? By Yogeshwaran Vishita.
Have you ever found anything that doesn't belong to you? I have. Keynote speaker, coach, parents, and guests. One day, while I was walking along the road, the other day, I happened to notice a small brown leather purse lying on the pavement. I picked it up and opened it to see if I could find the owner's name or the address. But there was nothing except some small cash and a rather old photograph. A photograph of a woman and a young girl about 12 years old. She was as white as snow. She looked like the woman's daughter. I put the photograph back and took the purse to the police station where I handed it over to the sergeant in charge, who was tough as a notebook. Before I left, the sergeant said, I need to make note of your name and your address so that it will be easy for the owner to thank you. That evening, I went to have dinner with one of my aunts and uncles, who always make tasty tacos. They had invited another person, a young woman who was taller than giraffe. The young woman's face was familiar, but I couldn't remember where I had seen her. I was quite sure we hadn't met before. In the course of conversation, however, the young woman said, I lost my purse this afternoon. I at once remembered where I had seen her face. Yes, she was the young girl in the photograph, although she was much older now. Then I said, I recognized your face from the photograph I found from your purse. She was very surprised when I was able to describe her purse to her. Suddenly, my uncle said, let's go to the police station immediately and claim the purse. When we went there, the sergeant handed the purse over and he said, it was a remarkable coincidence that I had not only found the purse, but also the person who had lost it.
Thank you, sister. That was awesome. The next speaker is Yogeshwaran Vidukshita. Never get overexcited. Never get overexcited by Yogeshwaran Vidukshita.
Never get overexcited about things, because when your expectations shatter, you will get disappointed. Trust me, I've lived it. Dear keynote speaker, parents, coach, and friends, after all those video calls, after all those plans, the day we were longing finally arrived. I've never experienced anything as this, so I was super excited. We arrived at the resort around 4. The other 5 were waiting to welcome us, and they were so happy and relieved as they thought we wouldn't come. As soon as we got out of the car, they dragged us to the room where we are going to be spending a night together. At 7, we had dinner at a table. We girls ate as fast as a cheetah. Then my father said, eat slow, girls, or you will choke on your food. We ignored him, had our food in a hurry, and went to have a look around the boys' room. We arrived in our room and started chatting when the boys came yelling into our room. You can have a look around our room, so why can't we have a look around yours? We kept all our snacks in a small table and the boys spotted it. They gazed longingly at them. Then the youngest of them asked, can't we have some of those too? We gave them a death glare and they ran without a backwards glance. Suddenly, we realized that 2 of us were missing, so we started to wait. We didn't have to wait long because after 10 minutes, they came running into our room looking worried. We knew something was wrong and went to them. Then I asked,
Jetmi, why are you guys sad? Why are you looking so worried? Jetmi replied, we are so sorry, guys. We are not going to be able to stay here today. Our grandmother is apparently very ill. We need to take care of her. But you can have the snacks we bought and make sure you enjoy yourselves. We were so worried and surprised after this news, so we went to convince their father. After many attempts, we gave up hope as their father was as stubborn as a no. We almost died of embarrassment. The boys kept teasing us. See what happened now? We asked to give us the snacks. You didn't. That's why they went. We did enjoy ourselves, but we didn't do many things we planned to. If we hadn't had our hopes so high, we would have had much fun than we expected to. So friends, never let yourself expect too much, because when your expectations shatter, you will get disappointed. And even if you enjoy yourself, you really wouldn't feel it. Thank you.
My round of applause. Superb, sister. I really enjoyed. The last speaker is leaderinyourkids. Think before you do something. Think before you do something. By leaderinyourkids.
Experiments are usually good, but some experiments can be life-threatening if safety is not taken into consideration. Keynote speakers, parents, and coach. When I was a toddler, I used to love doing small experiments with little things. So one day when I was in the couch making my bracelets, I tried to put as many beads as I could up my nose. At the time, I didn't realize that I was going to do something stupid and dangerous, but I just did it anyway. 1, 2, 3 beads went up my nose. I was so happy, I started cheering for myself. Yay! Then I scurried to my mom and I said, Mommy, I put 3 beads up my nose. Now, I expected my mom to be happy, but I was wrong. Her face turned pale. Her eyes were beaming and her mouth was wide open. And she said, Oh no, Lucindy, what have you done? Okay, don't panic. Just try blowing your nose. I was suddenly really confused. Did I do something wrong? So I started blowing my nose, but only 2 beads came out. The last one was still stuck. I tried blowing harder and harder, but it didn't work. My mom got both of our coats and we ran to the nearest hospital like a jet. As we were running, I felt really scared. Was I going to be okay? Please say I'm going to be okay. Please say I'm going to be okay. When we arrived at the hospital, the doctor quickly got an x-ray of me and showed it to my mom. My mom came over to me and told me these words. Don't worry, you're going to be okay. Then the doctor came back with a long thing too. He then put it in my nose and got the bead out. I was so happy and relieved. And I knew I would never do that again. So friends, we should always remember that just because we think something's okay, doesn't mean we should actually do it. Thank you.
Ron, your audio video is switched off. Can you please switch on? Can you introduce the next speaker, please?
Good evening, friends. Our next speaker is Mahiru Jayasinghe. A great speech makes a convincing leader. A great speech makes a convincing leader by Mahiru Jayasinghe.
Did you know that a great speech can make a convincing leader? Keynote speaker, parents, and friends. At the end of last year, my school was looking for new captains of 2022. Listen up, everyone. All grade 5s can apply for the leadership roles for 2022, announced Amanda in front of our whole grade. Amanda was a grade 6 teacher. She was tall and had wavy fair hair. She was strict, but also very kind and encouraging. Some people groaned, while others cheered. I was excited to take up this new opportunity and decided to send in an application. Who knows? I may even get school captain or a house captain. You'll have 30 minutes at recess to write your speech, then present it during Monday school assembly, said Amanda as she noted down my application. At the school assembly, everyone will be there. What have I signed up for? I thought in dismay. At recess, I got right to work on my speech, using all the techniques that I learned from Speak and put them all into one persuasive speech. The other applicants were also making great progress, so I had to up my game. I included rhetorical questions and famous dialogue from great leaders to make it more fun and interesting to read. Then with vocal variety and nonverbal communication. Attention class, boomed Amanda. We will now present the speeches at the stadium. As I walked towards the stadium, I saw all the students, teachers, and even the principal, Mary. My heart started pounding like a jackhammer. I was starting to rethink my decision and was wondering if I should quit on the spot. But I knew I had a great speech and could convince the crowd to vote for me. The first person called was my best friend, Jason. He walked up to the lectern and gave his speech. And now please welcome Mahir to the stage, announced Amanda. As I prepared very well, I was able to give an authentic speech, remembering all the techniques that I learned from Speak. At the end of my speech, I saw the smiling faces of my classmates. Relief washed over me. A few days later, we got an unsuspected visit from our principal, Mary, who had tallied all the votes from the students and teachers. Firstly, she announced the house captains, which included Jason. Then she said the sports captain, the vice captain, and finally the school captain. I crossed my fingers. The moment of silence felt like an eternity, and then I heard Principal Mary announce the name, Mahir Jayasinghe. I was thrilled. Excitement rushed through me. Friends, even though at first you're scared to do something, just brush the fear off your shoulder, because with hard work and preparation, you can overcome anything.
That was awesome. Thank you, Mahiru. Sahiru Jayasinghe. It is important to be curious, but you must exercise caution too. It is important to be curious, but you must exercise caution too. By Sahiru Jayasinghe.
Have you ever learned a life-changing lesson for just 5 rupees? Hello everyone, I'm a very curious person and sometimes that gets me in big trouble. When I was younger, I loved to find out not only how everything looks like, but how the places look. When I was 4 years old and about this size, I visited Sri Lanka for a holiday. I was fascinated with the 3,000 coin, and the golden 5 rupee coin was my favorite. One afternoon while I was playing with my brother, I popped it in my mouth and then accidentally swallowed it. I immediately knew I was in big trouble. I got very scared and tears started dripping on my glasses. Mihu was very upset and pathetic. He looked at me and said, "Where's the cornfield? Did you swallow it?" I nodded my head. He immediately ran at my parents and told them that I swallowed the corn. "Did you really swallow the corn?" asked my father. "I don't think so. It's very big. Even I can't swallow it." He thought it was too tiny to swallow the corn, but my father insisted that I did. I was too scared to even open my mouth. I kept nodding my head. My mom panicked and said in a warning voice, "We need to take it to the emergency room," and quickly rushed me to the nearest hospital. At the emergency room, the head doctor examined me. He was silver-haired and wore spectacles. He was very calm and gently showed my parents not to panic. He looked at me intently and asked, "Why did you swallow the coin?" By now I had calmed down, and he replied, "Because I was very hungry." Everyone laughed. He said to get an X-ray of my tummy. The young expectation laughed at us when he said what happened. He then took me to the X-ray room and took a photo of my tummy. After a few minutes, the X-ray technician came out smiling. "Look at that shiny circle in his tummy. The corn shines like the full moon on the dark room." Everyone who saw it thought it was very funny, even the critical persons. The wise doctor told me to drink a lot of water and come back for a few more X-rays. The next few days, the X-ray showed the circle moving from my tummy to my intestine, and on the last day, it wasn't there anymore. Friends, for 5 rupees, I've learned an invaluable lesson. It is important to be curious, but you must exercise caution too.
Sahiro. Our next speaker is Avin Kure. If you make a promise, you need to stick it. If you make a promise, you need to stick it. By Avin Kure.
Make a promise, you need to stick it. Dear keynote speaker, coaches, and my dear friends. When I was in grade 2, my father made the decision. If you make a promise, you need to stick it. Dear keynote speaker, coaches, and my dear friends. When I was in grade 2, my father made the decision to move to a new house. A year went by. We were almost close to the day of moving. I was so excited. New place, new neighbor, new friends. Everything seemed so new to me. The most exciting thing was it was going to happen on the month of my birthday. The day before we moved to the new house, I asked my dad, "Can we go to see our house, Daddy?" My father said, "Yes, of course, Avin." I went all over the house and spent a little time in my new place. Then I went to a room downstairs. Do you know what I saw? It was a new bicycle for me. Wow, it was amazing. It was black in color and had new gears. It can go off-road too. It was nicely designed by the thing. It's been a few months since I moved to my new house, and I'm enjoying riding my new bicycle with my new friends. When I was riding it, I said hi to some children on my way. One of them talked to me and asked, "What's your name?" I said, "Avin." When I went down the lane, I saw a couple of kids playing cricket. One of the kids chased me up the road. I pedaled as fast as I can. It was really fun. The next day, I also wanted to ride my bike. My mom said, "No, Avin, you have school homework to do." I said, "Mom, I promised I'd run only half an hour." Then I do my homework. My mom said, you have to come after half an hour. It was getting dark. I forgot about the promise. I was writing for so long that I didn't even realize that I was getting a headache. My mom shouted at me saying, Obin, get inside. When I went inside, I couldn't bear the pain. I cried a lot. My mom gave some medicine, and then I threw up and slept with my father. The next morning, I felt much better. I realized that if I make a promise, I should keep the promise. Otherwise, I will always get in trouble.
Thank you, Avin. It was amazing. Yasavi Ekanayaka. Don't miss your breakfast. Don't miss your breakfast by Yasavi Ekanayaka.
It's Yasasvi Ekanayaka. Yasasvi Ekanayaka. Okay.
Do you know why your parents insisted that eat your breakfast? Dear keynote speaker, parents, coach, and friends. It was a bright Saturday morning and I woke up early. Since I was taking part in a cooking event called Cook with Santa, held at Mahavali Beach, I bathed and dressed in a white frock with pink and blue flowers. I had my hair in a ponytail and white shoes to match my dress. I was very happy with how I looked and waited happily for my father to drop me off. I was afraid for getting late, so I skipped my breakfast. I arrived at the event, which they set up at the garden. It was a beautiful setup with 5 kitchen stations, with trees, with orange color flowers around. When the time comes, we were put into groups. The name of my group was Sugar Plums. We were giving bags to represent each team. Mine was orange. The first thing we cooked was a pastry in the shape of a Christmas tree. We started making the doughs in the shape of a Christmas tree, dicing the vegetables for the filling. Suddenly, I felt unwell, but I was afraid to tell anyone and didn't want to miss the fun and hoped I felt okay soon. Soon the frying and stirring began, and I felt little angry as the biggest children took long time to cook, leaving us with little to do at time. But the chef was very kind and helped everybody to participate equally. The time went by and it was too sunny. All of a sudden, I felt dizzy. Everything seemed blurred. I told a staff member who took me and sat me in a chair and gave me some water. And I closed my eyes. Soon my mother came and I was very happy. She hugged me and said it was because I had not eaten in the morning and brought me some snacks. I felt much better. Onwards, I joined my friends and finished my pastry and went home happily with goodies I baked and gift bags from the hotel. So my friends, please make sure you have your meals on time because you can never have fun when your tummy is grumbling. Thank you. Thank you, Yasasvi. Our next speaker is Mark Lawrence. What we play with and how we play with. What we play with and how we play with by Mark Lawrence. what we play with and how we play with. Do you know why you need to be extremely careful when you play with tiny objects? Keynote speaker, parents, coach and friends. One beautiful day I was at school and it was time for my computer lesson. I was so excited as usual, so me and my friends waited till the teacher said we could go in. But this time it took rather a long time, so I started to get bored. But then I found a small grey object on the floor. I played with it and then I took it near my ear, but then it vanished. I couldn't find it anywhere. Soon I heard my teacher saying, "Okay, kids, you can go into the computer room now." But while I was going in, I felt a slight pain inside of my ear. The first time I ignored it, but the second time I heard it so much I cried. My teacher saw me and asked, "Mark, why are you crying?" And I said, "It's because I'm having an ear pain." Immediately, my teacher took me to the office and they rang my parents. Soon I saw my mum in the office. She came directly from work. She came directly from our house to the school. Immediately she took me to the hospital. While I was waiting for my name to be called, I saw my dad. He came directly from work to the hospital. I felt better that my parents were with me, but the pain was increasing. Soon the doctors took me to a room for a checkup. The doctor said he can see a small object inside my ear. He went and then he came back holding a small equipment that looked like a hairdryer. The doctor was so kind and he asked me lots of questions. Slowly he turned the switch on the equipment. I felt so scared. And then I felt like a vacuum being plunged onto my ear. But then the doctor said, "All done." And you won't believe what he found. It was this tiny object I was playing with at school. This was a lesson I learned painfully. Since that day onwards, I was extremely careful with what we play with and how we play with. Thank you for listening. God bless you.
You, Mark, that it was awesome. Shekanya Bandar. I have to change my attitude. I have to change my attitude by Shekanya Bandar.
Once again, it's Shekinah Bandar.
Have you ever been so mean that nobody even dared to talk to you, even once? Dear keynote speaker, parents, coach, and friends, when I was 6 years old, half the size I am now, I did not know the difference between wrong or right. And thanks to that, I lost all my friends. So I had a very, very lonely school year. But one day, when I was walking around in the school playground, I saw a girl covered in mud, grass, and leaves. It looked pretty funny, but she was screaming at 3 kids. She said bad words to them like dummy, and I got very mad at her. I went up to her and said, "Who do you think you are?" Then her face turned from fury to not so fury. She turned back and ran away. I turned back at the kids, but they weren't there. But the bell rang and I had to go to class. So with a confused mind, I went back. But I did not pay attention to anything. I was losing it. I didn't pay attention to the teacher. I didn't hear her calling my name. I did not listen to anything. Then I went to my mother. When I got home, I told her everything. She told me, "Shekinah, you have to change your attitude I told you many times, but you just won't listen. I looked at her and said, what do you mean? She explained the same thing multiple times, but I still didn't get anything she said. So the next day, I finally understood, and I went to my friends. I searched for them everywhere, but couldn't find them. So I ended up going to the playground and saw them buying millions of sweets from the school canteen. And just as I was about to open my mouth, I looked back and thought to myself, what do you think you're doing? And I ran away. I tried this many more times, but kept failing every single time I tried. But one day I just had enough, and when I was about to talk to them again, I did not, because they were talking about me, saying how they've been seeing me everywhere they've been for the past few weeks, and they were getting suspicious about me. And of course, to that I turned white as a ghost and ran away. I tried it again, but this time I wasn't going to let anything stop me. I ran up to them and just spilled everything. I begged them to forgive me, saying, please, I won't do it again. Just forgive me. They knew what I was saying, but they still wanted to ask me, what are you talking about? They just wanted me to spill everything out of my mouth. So I confessed to them. And they said, "We'll think about it," and just turned back and went away. I was very upset and also very curious to know what they might say. And a few days later, they came up to me and said, "Fine, we'll forgive you. Just don't let this happen again." I promised them. And after that day, I had a very happy school year. So, dear friends, if you have ever been mean to anyone, please apologize. And if you like to be alone at home, you do not want to be like that in school. Thank you.
Thank you, sister. It was brilliant. Our next speaker is Abriana Lawrence. Practice makes perfect. Practice makes perfect by Abriana Lawrence.
Practice makes perfect. Practice makes you perfect. Raise your hands if you agree with me. Keynote speaker, parents, coach, and friends. Since I was 3 years old, I had difficulties in speaking. My mummy and daddy were highly worried about me, so they sent me to a speech therapist at my school. I still remember my first day with my speech therapist. Her name was Miss Baldridge. Saying my teacher's name itself was a test for me. But I had so much of fun, which I did not expect at all. I loved it, and speech lessons became my favorite subject at school. And I started to get stickers for every word I pronounced correctly. My teacher was so kind and calm, and mostly she was very helpful. Every day when I met my teacher for the lessons, the first question she will ask for me is, "Abriana, what is my name?" And I will just say something that sounds like her name, as it was too hard for me to pronounce it. But days, weeks, and months passed by, and one day I could say my teacher's name properly without even realizing. My teacher looked so happy. She looked even happier than I was, as I could say and pronounce her name correctly. Then one day, my teacher came up to me and said, "Abriana, I have a surprise for you." Guess what it was? It was a certificate. Well done, you have done it. I was so happy that I could now speak now like my friends, and I am so grateful for my teacher helping me and guiding me. And here I am doing public speaking in front of all of you. Do you know what that teaches us? Practice makes perfect.
Yeah, Brianna. It was super. Our next speaker is Mutumanya Piris.
Evan, we will have Nadir next. Nadir Naushad.
Nadir Naushad. An unforgettable day in my life. An unforgettable day in my life by Nadir Naushad.
Nadir Naushad, the screen is over to you.
In every individual life, there will come a time when an unforgettable event will occur. It might be positive or negative, but it is something that will be remembered forever. Like the day my grandmother passed away was an unforgettable day to me. Dear keynote speaker, parents, coaches, and friends, on the 20th of August, 2021, I woke up early morning to someone screaming out loud. It was my mom. Oh my God, she fainted. I was shocked and speechless. I couldn't overcome my shockness for a few seconds. And then, when I came around, I also started to scream and asked my mom, Mama, please wake up. Tell me what happened. Then my mom finally woke up and she told me what happened with her eyes full of tears. I was shocked and stunned for a few seconds. My dearest grandmother had just left us. I can still feel and remember the emotion I felt on that day. The death of the loved one is unbearable and the hardest thing an individual can bring to themselves to talk about. On the other side, I was shocked to see my father crying for the first time. He was crying for his mother who had just left this world forever without any bond. I will never forget that day in the chapter of my entire life. Friends, imagine our own parents and role models passing away one day and leaving us with no goodbye, but a memory of who they were when they were alive. So friends, tell your loved ones how much you love them when they are alive. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you, Nadir Naushad. It was super. Our next speaker is Mutumanya Paris. The Test. The Test by Mutumanya Paris.
How would you feel if your heart were right in front of everyone? And how would you react if you are totally innocent? Dear friends, parents, and guests, at the term test last month, I finished my Tamil paper early and started to draw a beautiful picture on my file. The girl on my right saw me drawing the picture and said, "Your picture is beautiful, Muthu. Can you draw the picture to me as well?" Very generous, I said, "Yes, of course. Pass me your file." Believe me, my friends, I didn't have the faintest idea that I was violating a major exam rule. How do I? We didn't have physical exams for ages due to COVID. So I started to draw a beautiful picture on Aminda's file. Our Tamil teacher, who was very strict, was walking around the class during the exam. Just as she passed me, she checked my drawing on Aminda's file admiringly. I very innocently said, "Teacher, that's not my file, that's Aminda's." The teacher seemed to explode with anger. "I see, she has given the paper to you with the file. You have copied from her. You have cheated at the exam." I tried to explain, "Teacher, I took Aminda's file to draw a picture, but I didn't know that the paper was in the file. I didn't copy." Of course, she didn't believe me. She grabbed both papers and gave minus marks. Worse, she gave me a good beating in front of the whole class. I was really ashamed and cried my eyes out that day.
I was cross with Aminda for not proving my innocence. I went home crying. I hate Kevin. I don't want to go to school anymore. I urged my mother to prove my innocence. My mother said, Muthu, forget about the Tamil paper. This challenge is the most important exam. You have to pass it by yourself. This is an opportunity for you to learn an important life lesson. So I phoned my class teacher and told the story. She said, I believe you, darling. I know you're not a good copy. But because of you, the whole class learned how bad it is to cheat. Be happy that you taught that lesson to all your friends. So don't be disheartened. With a flash, I changed my mind. I want to go to school with my head held high. My friends, sometimes you can be at the wrong place at the wrong time. But if you are truthful, stand up yourself. Take them as opportunities to mold yourselves rather than withdraw. And be optimistic towards everyone who gave you those golden hurdles to learn your lessons of life. Well, if you have more lessons to learn from my story, do feel free to take them home. Thank you.
Thank you, Muthumanya. It was great. Our next speaker is General Vijay Tilaka. Use your devices wisely. Use your devices wisely by General Vijay Tilaka.
Excuse from you all, I'm having a power cut. I excuse you all, I'm having a power cut right now and I'm doing my best.
Right.
How many of you like to play video games? I'm sure all of you like to play video games because it's fun, right? Your keynote speakers, teachers, and friends, just like
General, your audio just went on to mute. Please unmute yourself.
the more you do, those the higher levels you can go up to. I have gone up to level 21. But do you know what is when you start taking too many video games, you don't anything else? Your pet enjoy nature, nothing. And do you know the worst part? We were playing games in our mother's phone. And one day when we were playing games, the phone battery was dead. But we couldn't charge it neither because it was a power cut too. We were so shocked. We clicked the phone and ran away. And in that time, contact because the battery was dead. And after some times, our parent got to know that we played too many video games until the battery was dead. And then our parents called us and said, did you play too many video games in the phone? But in that time, we couldn't lie, so we told them the truth. Then our mother said, use your devices wisely and do not be addicted to those. We took that advice very seriously and didn't play too many video games ever again. And the life lesson that I learned from this moment was to not play too many video games and to listen to your parents. Thank you for listening and have a nice weekend.
Thank you, General. You did a great job. Our next speaker is Zaid Zaki. Mummy's Advice. Mummy's Advice by Zaid Zaki.
Has your mother ever advised you the same thing like a billion times and reached a point where you got sick of it? She disobeyed her? Dear keynote speaker, parents, coach, and friends. It was the 31st of December, and we were leaving to candy in the evening. I couldn't wait. I rushed and took my backpack with all the supplies I needed, and I got ready. My mom and my sister were also ready. I wore my gamer t-shirt, my mom wore a black top, and my sister wore a green top. We all looked so beautiful in them, and we were super excited. We were off to my cousin's place. We reached there after a few hours, and right after we reached there, my mom said, Zaid, you better wash your hands and take off your shoes before you go inside. It's raining and the towels will be slippery. But I was impatient. I rushed and hugged everyone without even washing my hands. I didn't want to take off my shoes because I didn't want to listen to my mom. And then I saw my little cousin, Zahir. I shouted and I ran. And then, I fell and hit my head very badly. There was a huge bump. And that's when I realized what my mom said. She advised me because she didn't want me to get hurt. I'm sorry, Mom. I should have listened to you. Mom being the typical mom, she said, it's okay, Zaid. And all I can say right now is, friends, listen to your parents' advices. Because if you don't, you will end paying for them. And one day, you will find the advices were definitely useful for life. Thank you.
You said you did amazing. Our next speaker is Mohammed Arshad Mohammed Bilal. Play responsibly. Play responsibly. By Mohammed Arshad Mohammed Bilal.
Playing is more important, but what is more important than just playing is to play responsibly. Hello everyone. One evening when I was playing with my
Bilal, can I interrupt you? We can't see you clearly. Okay, now that's better. Yeah, now we can see you.
Playing is more important, but what is more important than just playing is to play responsibly. Hello everyone. One evening when I was playing with my little brother Lukman, pretending to be wrestlers while trying to play like professionals, something unexpected happened. My brother punched my eye and his nail cut my eye. I screamed, ouch, that hurts. But he laughed and said, haha, I'm stronger than you. Little did we realize what had actually happened. A few seconds later, I could not open my right eye. That's when I ran to my mom and said, I can't open my eye. I think I'm going blind, Mommy. I actually thought I was blind. My mom, who was always frustrated with our fights, yelled, what have you done this time? She immediately kept an eye on my bruised eye and did everything she possibly could. Unfortunately, I still could not open my right eye. That's when my mom hurried to call my dad at work. Once he heard the news, he rushed home. He took me to the hospital and after carefully examining me, the doctor told my parents he has a cut in his eye. She also discovered that I had a problem in my vision. A couple of days later, I recovered, but I had to wear glasses forever. So, my brother and I learned an important lesson for a happy party. We learned how important it is to play safely and cautiously. Sometimes a little mishap can cause severe damage and you can never go back to the way you used to be. So friends, remember, play, but play responsibly. Thank you.
Thank you, Bilal. It was fantastic. Our next speaker is Elisha Pedidillion. Honesty. Honesty by Elisha Pedillion.
Honestly, what will you do if you found a wallet on the road with a lot of money in it? Dear keynote speaker, parents, coach, and friends, it was a rainy day when I was going to school by bus. I got off the bus and I realized that I hadn't brought an umbrella. As it was raining so heavily, I couldn't even move a bit. So I decided to stay at the shop, which was near the school gate, until I could find a help from a friend. I was looking at the watch and it was almost time closer to 7:15 a.m. I was lucky. My friend Nehansa spotted me. She was carrying a huge umbrella. When she saw me and she hailed me, "Hi Alicia, come, I'll drop you." When we were heading to school, I was carefully watching my steps because there was a lot of mud and water on the road. Suddenly, I saw something black just in front of me. "Hey Nehansa, look at that! Don't touch, don't touch!" Nehansa shouted. But I was curious and my heart wanted to give it up. So I had to give it a slight tap with my foot to see what it was. "Don't do it, that's not nice, that doesn't belong to us," Nehansa said, but it contained a lot of money in it. I couldn't imagine what to do next. I was thoughtless for a moment. "Okay, I'll hand it over to security uncle," Nehansa said, but I was not satisfied with an idea. Finally, I came with a fine idea to hand it over to the assistant principal. So I ran to the assistant principal's office and handed it over and said, "I found this one fallen on the road." She listened to me very carefully and praised me a lot. The next morning, everything was ready for the school assembly. We had our morning prayer and suddenly Sister Principal announced, "A little girl from grade 4 has found a wallet on the road and handed it over to me to find the owner of it. It contained a lot of money and she was a very honest girl who had not to touch any of those money." When my name was called to the stage, I was excited and shocked. I was awarded with a particle and an application letter by Sister Principal. That memory still haunts me and it will remain in my mind forever. So friends, honestly, it's a good virtue to practice indeed. But it will not only make your life better, but others' life better too. Thank you.
Thank you, Elisha. You did a great job. Our last speaker for today is Saira Farhan. Have you ever been recanted to ask a question? Have you ever been recanted to ask a question? By Saira Farhan.
Saira Farhan, have you ever been reluctant to ask a question? Saira, the screen is over to you.
Have you ever been reluctant to ask a question you were too scared? Keynote speaker, parents and friends. I was 8 years old and I was at school. Our day started off with maths and I wanted to get through the day as soon as I could since it was a Friday. Like always, maths started off with a recap and refresh. That was to make sure we'd been paying attention during this week's work, which I had, so I was pretty confident. But the only hurdle I had to jump was that we had to use a particular method. I was not so confident with that. Like I said, I was pretty young, but then everything changed. I took a sip out of my water bottle and then put it on the floor beside me. And then I felt a tingle in my right foot. "Oh no, I had pins and needles," I cried out softly. "Why me? Why now? Why today?" I was horrified. There were 9 questions I had to go through with my tingling foot. Most of them were pretty easy, so I whizzed through them first. The rest were pretty hard, and I had to take some time, and I could only think about my foot. But there, that time came
where my whole mind, and I mean my whole mind, went blank. My teacher asked, did everyone have a chance to look at the sheet we'll be working on? Yes, we all said, nodding our heads, including me, even though I did not know what to do, and I did not look at the sheet. I thought about putting my hand up, but then I was worried that if I put my hand up, I'll be sent to the extra practice table. I did not want that to happen. So I waited and I waited and I thought and thought. And then after a while, I knew I only had one decision. I had to put my hand up, and I put it right up into the air. When I put my hand up right into the air touched my fingertips, felt kind of soothing. But then my kind teacher Irene asked, yes, Sarah, what's the matter? I mustered up all the courage, looked into her dark blue eyes and said, I did not understand the question. Please, can you help me? Of course, she said, and I'm happy you did not hesitate for long. It was a turning point for me. Dear adults and all of you grown-ups, you might have had the same problem when you might have been applying for a job or going to take an interview, and someone might have said something that brings you down low. But ignore all of them, because at the end of the day, you are the one who controls your mind. And thank you for listening to my speech.
Time has arrived. The wait is over. The founder of Reflections Coaching, author of Reflections of the Heart, a marketing consultant, and a life coach. Let me invite our keynote speaker for today, Miss Shamina Pelly.
Thank you so much, moderator Manuga. Wow, wow, wow. Before I go into my speech, let me tell you a small story. Once upon a time, there was a little girl. She was 10 years old, sometimes naughty, but a little shy. She loved poetry, and she enjoyed reciting them even more. One day she was so excited because she'd been selected for a speech contest and was to compete with other students in her entire grade. So with a little help from friends and family, she wrote a very nice speech. She practiced well and looked forward to it, hoping she would do a great speech and maybe even win a place in it. Came the day. With a lot of nerves, but armed with enthusiasm, she stood up on the stage and started beautifully. But 3 minutes into the speech, she forgot her words. She panicked and tried to find her notes, but alas, she just went blank. With a heavy heart and red with lots of embarrassment, she ran off the stage in tears, promising never, ever to speak in public again. 5 years later, she was selected to represent her school in a public speaking competition, competing with students of different ages from all the schools across the country. And after many challenging, exciting, and exhausting rounds throughout the day, the judges announced that she won the entire competition and was placed first. Today, she's here talking to you, still nervous, still a little shy, but following her dreams and very happy to share something if it will inspire her audience. Wow, I shall continue with my wow. I saw some amazing speeches. You all are so wonderful. I just loved them all. I'm so happy to see such a wonderful audience, such amazing speakers. And thank you so much, Farviz, for the invitation and speak. You know, it's amazing. And thank you for inviting me to this amazing Speak Carnival and how colorful it is. I see so many talented speakers who I know will be wonderful and inspirational speakers and leaders. So firstly, congratulations to all of you for stepping into such a wonderful journey. I use the word wonderful a lot, but I like using words like wonderful and amazing and super and magic. These are my favorite words. Okay, so please bear with me. One of the biggest lessons I learned as a 10-year-old is that it is okay. And if it doesn't work out as expected, as long as you try. And a slow start doesn't mean that you can't achieve greatness. With the right teachers and your determination and strong will, you can master any skill and follow your dreams. Even though I cried for days, I realized that I still loved speaking. It helped me express myself, and I wanted so much to give myself a chance to let my light shine. And with time, I transformed from a scared little girl into a feisty speaker and someone who believes in herself. Today, I can gratefully say that being able to communicate well and speak in public has truly changed my life. And here I am to share. I'm going to share a glimpse of my own humble journey and experiences, and only with the hope that you will find some inspiration. Okay, so let me give you the long bucket list. It has helped me build self-confidence and made me more organized. Now, a good speaker is usually prepared, just like all of you. You didn't read your notes, you used beautiful gestures, and you were so brilliantly prepared. So when I also address different audiences and stages, I always make sure that I was prepared and focused. And of course, I try to create a positive impact. And this naturally built a good habit in me and made me not just confident as a speaker, but also as a person, a confident person. So it also helped me develop my own identity and my own personality so I could express myself in any forum. So now I'm able to express my thoughts, my dreams, my intentions, and voice my opinions in such a way that people understand me and also are convinced. But I make sure that I'm sincere. And through this, it's much easier to earn the respect of people around me and eventually create my own little image, me. It also helped me make friends. So public speaking doesn't make you so easy to be a friend, okay? But it helps you to come out of that shy, introverted zone. So I'm shy and I'm an introvert. Some of you must be thinking she's lying, like we believe her. But really, I am shy. But when I let my guard down, I can talk non-stop. I'm like a total chatterbox. And of course, it depends on my mood. So as a student, it actually helped me to stand out and, make a little more friends. But, I didn't stand out because of speech competitions, but it helped me stand out as a leader, to learn better, to ask the right questions from my teachers, to be bold, and eventually get recognized in my school. I was a bit of a naughty student and loved making my classmates laugh. So that usually helps me with my humorous speeches. Okay. And also it improved my vocabulary. I learned at an early stage that to speak means to think. And to think, I needed knowledge. So I read a lot and wrote a lot. And I still write my speeches, sometimes in point form or the entire speech. I'm sure lots of you have written your speeches and lots of you have practiced. And just like that, I prepare. And I get knowledge of what I'm going to talk. I make sure I write my speeches myself. So when you have knowledge, you can easily make speeches and even impromptu speeches. Even when you're not ready and you have a vocabulary, you can actually make impromptu speeches. And next, the ability to speak shaped my professional life in a big way. And I know many of you are going to be great people, great professionals, changing the world in so many companies, in so many organizations, teachers, different professions. And just like that, speaking shaped my professional life. It created many opportunities for growth. In fact, it was a necessity because right throughout, from my university to every step in my career, I always had to do public speaking. First, it was my superiors. First, it was my professors in the university, my teachers in the university. And then it was my superiors in the company. And then it was all my customers. And I had to talk about all of them. But here's a small piece of advice. Now remember this. 3 things. I call this the KPI. Knowledge, preparation, intention. That's all you need to be an effective speaker. Know what you're saying, prepare for it, and be sincere. That's your intention. It will always work out for you. So you also will one day stand in a boardroom in front of a serious looking boss, telling them how you are going to make things happen and fighting for a cause, or telling them what objectives you will be achieving, or you will be presenting to your customers and telling them why they should choose you. Or you will stand on a great big stage fighting for a cause. You want to be great. Then remember these 3 letters, K, P, I. Even now, while I'm always nervous and a little intimidated, even today, I see I am in front of some amazing speakers who are better than me. Okay, but that 10-year-old girl, that 10-year-old little me reminds me, hey, relax. It's okay if you mess up. You're going to nail it one day, as long as you're honest and as long as you try. So eventually, public speaking led me down many paths in life and always stood by me like a loyal friend. From school to university, to achieving success in my career as an employee, getting promoted, leading people, starting my own business, writing my own book, and talking about it. And most importantly, expressing myself. But I want to leave you with the biggest joy it has given me. It has helped me live my passion and my purpose. You see, I've always wanted to share knowledge or experiences with the hope of empowering or inspiring at least one life. The skill of public speaking has helped me live that dream. So as I close this note, I truly want to tell you that I truly believe, okay, and remember these words. If you forget my entire speech, remember these words. I truly believe that each and every one has magic inside of us. and all we need is to set it free. If I can remind you that you are wonderful, you are a miracle, and you can make the world a beautiful place by just being you, then I have achieved my deepest desire of a speech. And I sincerely mean it. So each and every one of you is special. Your voice matters. So shine your light. Use your beautiful voice. Say kind words. Okay? Speak and inspire the world with your magic. Thank you. Over to you, moderator.
Thank you, Shamina. That was amazing. Quite inspirational and amazing as always. And thanks a lot for taking your time off to come here, not only to grace this occasion, but also to inspire these kids with your lovely words. So thanks a lot, Shamina. I know 10 minutes of your schedule is a lot, given that given your workload. The audience should know she is doing some amazing things. She's also written a book called Reflections with all the shows that she has been carrying on her shoulders, and she is also a coach who is transforming a lot of lives, right? So thanks a lot once again, Shamina, for coming here and gracing this occasion.
Thank you for this amazing show, and kudos to you. Thank you for doing this for the country. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks a lot. Kids, do you have a couple of minutes, Shamina, or to answer any questions the kids might have?
I'm so inspired. Oh my God, I want to learn how to speak from them. Seriously,
Right.
I mean it.
Kids, do you have any questions for Shamina? Anyone?
No, sir.
Not at the moment. All right.
Akina has a question. I think she has asked me.
Okay.
Did you publish the book you made?
Yes, Sakina, yes.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Nishida? Yes, Nishida?
I have a power cut, and is my speech okay? I mean, I did it when it's a power cut.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay?
That's fine. I'm also living in a power cut. I think everyone's.
I also think.
Almost.
I also think everyone's in a power cut.
You can ask the question from Shamia. Go ahead.
How did it feel the first time speaking on a stage?
I didn't catch the question, Saira. Was it from Saira?
Yes, sorry. How did it feel the first time speaking when you were on a stage?
I felt like I was going to die. I couldn't feel my breath. I was swaying and my head was blank. I think it was you who said you went blank at some point. I'm not sure if it was on the stage, but I went blank on the stage. Literally, I was having my entire speech and then I just went blank. And here's a secret, it happens all the time. I get nervous every single time on the stage. And when I saw you guys speaking, I was like, oh my God, they're amazing. And I got even more nervous. Yes, Saira. So any more questions? Yes.
I think Kenneth has a question. Kenneth is raising his hand.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Kenneth.
How do you prepare yourself before the speech?
Yes. Okay, good question. Wonderful question. So Kenneth, this is what I do. I write my speech. Okay. Before a speech, I write it. And Farwiz can add to this, but I make sure that I write it myself. And to write it, I need to find what I'm going to write about. So I need to do what we call research. So I read about the subject. If I don't know about it, I read a little more and I learn about what I'm going to say. Because sometimes when you don't know about what you're going to say, and if someone else writes your speech, if you forget it, you wouldn't know what to say. So if you have the knowledge in your mind, and if you've written at least the points, you have that knowledge. And if you forget, it comes back to you. Sometimes, even if you go blank and you forget your words, it comes back to you because it's stored in your memory. So when you actually practice your speech, that's one thing. One thing is I write it, and then I also practice it a couple of times. See, the right thing to do is to practice it in front of a mirror or in front of, a camera and watch yourself. So before big speeches, I try to do that. Okay, but writing it, at least writing it and preparing myself with the knowledge, I make sure I do it. Did I answer your question?
Thanks a lot, Miss.
Thank you, Kenneth.
So research, write, practice. In brief, that's what Shamina said. We can take one last question from Manuga Bandar. Manuga, go ahead. We can take one last question.
So, Shamina, when you're like 10 years old, which strategies did you use to help you with public speaking and improve on it?
Okay, so Manuga, when I went onto the stage the first time, I had a speech. Okay, I had written it, but I think I was so overwhelmed. Sometimes when you are going before an audience, you overwhelm yourself, and you think, you worry too much, you overthink too much, and you're scared of making a mistake. You're so scared that you'll go up on stage and make a mistake. But it's okay. So that's what I told myself. Even if you go, no one is going to judge you. Your audience is not going to laugh at you. Your audience is not going to judge you. They're not going to think bad of you. So it's okay. So that is the main strategy I tell myself at every point. I go up on stage, and that's why I said, I have the knowledge, I have the preparation, but even if those two can go wrong, I have my intention. My intention is always to create some positive impact, to say something that is good. So if I'm going to give my audience something that's going to help them, so it's fine because I tried. So when I go up on stage, all I think is my intention. My intention. I want to be sincere. I want to say something good. I want to inspire them. I want to help them. And that makes it all okay. That makes it, everything is fine. So just try that strategy, and don't worry about the audience. Sometimes if you go and if you know one or two people in the audience, try to look at them because then you start getting more comfortable with the audience. And what I also do is I try to get to know the audience before I make a speech in some of the speeches. But even if the audience is complete strangers, I just think they are good people. They're just here to listen to me, and I'm just here to give them something from what I can share. That's it.
Thank you, Shamina. It is very helpful.
Most welcome.
I think that was crucial what you said there, Shamina, because when you had that intention in place, because what most of us see, what I see most of us do is we try to go and please someone with our speech. We try to prove something. But when we take that out of our minds, and when we instead replace that with sincerity and inspiring someone with our message, everything falls into place and everything becomes easy, because now no one's worried about being judged. It's about imparting or sharing, in fact, what you know, what has changed your life. So I think that's pretty crucial what you said, KPI. And that's a learning curve for me as well. Knowledge, preparation, intention. Thanks a lot once again. not only the kids, but I think the adults, parents, including myself, have also benefited from your speech. So kudos to you. Keep up your great work, and thank you once again for inspiring all of us, Shamina. All the best in everything that you do.
Thank you so much.
Okay. All right. Good night.
Good night.
Okay. Amar, we can move over to the next item in the agenda.
Dinner!
What?
Amar, can we move over to the next item in the agenda, please?
Give me a moment. My device got stuck. Just a moment.
Okay. I don't think the audience can look at my face for a long time, so if we can quickly switch the screen and bring over the next moderator. Okay, great.
That was an excellent performance by some excellent speakers. Let me remind you that it was the students who came up with the idea for their speeches, and it was they who wrote the speeches. That is why they deserve another big round of applause. Now, are you curious to know how these children transformed to become such amazing speakers? Well, then let's listen to the people behind the screen. Let me invite our lead coaches, Mr. Fariz Imamuddin, Ms. Shakya Nataritarana, Mr. Sharif Mihila, and Ms. Hamra Hazar to the screen.
Thank you, Tanoli. Thanks a lot. I don't think Shakya, Sharif, and Amra are available tonight, so you'll have to bear with me, unfortunately. So before, I'm not going to give another speech and bore you, because you've listened to a series of speeches and finally a brilliant keynote speech. And I don't want to come here and bore you with another speech for another 5 to 10 minutes. So all I want to tell you is my inside of me, it's like a huge cauldron, a huge magical cauldron where a lot of emotions are stirring up. Surprise, happiness, shock, I'm touched. So many emotions are stirring up inside me, because when I see you kids perform, what I usually do is I go back to when I first saw you on screen performing your first speech, and then I compare that with your performance, the last performance, and I try to gauge the transformation that has taken place. And that is why the inside of me is like a huge cauldron where a lot of emotions are stirring up. Thanks a lot. And it shows how much potential each one of you have inside of you to develop and transform your personalities. And public speaking always amazes me, because it gives us that much needed self-confidence to actually transform your personalities and stand up straight. So yeah, well done. Kudos, kids. A lot of credit should go to you and to your parents as well. So let me stop here and let me ask all of you how you feel at this moment. Kids, how do you feel? Some of you have completed level 1, some of you have completed level 2. So how do you feel, kids?
I feel amazing.
I feel really happy.
I feel
very excited and
Really good.
happy. I feel very happy. I feel joyful.
I feel wonderful.
I feel very happy too.
Okay, all right. Now, if anyone has any comments to make, like as usual, we do this right soon after Speakarnival. If a parent or if any one of you student wants to make a comment, this is your chance. Please go ahead.
Hi, Mr. Harvez. Sir,
Yes.
I'm Hayas and Zaid's mother. I have to really thank you for bringing out the speaker in my children. Okay. And special thanks to Ms. Shakya and Sir Sharif. They did a wonderful job by coaching them personally with private sessions. And Ms. Shakya, within 1 hour's time, I saw the effort she put and how she brought, Haya is actually, Haya and Zaid both are very expressive and very talkative at home, but they are in front of the screen. I don't know what happens to them. They are very shy, and they, especially Haya, didn't want to memorize the speech, and I was lost, I didn't know how to help her. She was very stubborn. She said no, she was refusing, and she only had 1 hour's time with Miss Shakya, and it was amazing. Once the session was done, Haya came to me and said, she's the best teacher ever.
Wow.
And, yes, and even same with Zaid. I see a big transformation. If you check with his first speech in first Speakarnival and today's, there's a big difference. I know that he can improve more. I'm really happy. I'm really thankful for your academy. And I think some of the talks that we have about Speak, I think Sir Sharif has shared with you as well.
Yes.
Yes. So always they, after this level, they always talk about you all. You all have become family to us now. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I'm so glad. Thank you. Thanks a lot for your kind words and these words of encouragement. Sure, Sharif and Sharkia are going to be over the moon, and I know for sure that this is their fuel, and this is going to keep them going. And I think this feedback is vital, because we always had chats about Haya and Zaid as well. Myself, Shakia, and myself and Sharif. And I think Sharif and Shakia, what they did was, instead of just coming and developing their public speaking skills, because I watched the videos, I watched all the videos of the private sessions. What they actually did was, initially, they built this rapport with the kids, which is very important for any teacher to do. So they built this rapport which broke the ice between them, and they built that trust after that between the child and the teacher, and only so thank you. Thanks a lot. I'm definitely going to pass this news over to Shakya.
You are welcome, sir, and keep it up. All the
Thank
good
you.
for doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Any other comments? Anyone has to?
Hi, it's this is Yasanta, Damiru and Dahami's father. I think I have been following the most of your classes, and they are the first timers for this. And I think a huge thank has to go to you and the team. And I saw the confidence they were building, and also the willingness to get into this. The Damiru initially was having the speech always printed and also following the screen. The yesterday, I don't know what happened to him. He said, I have memorized the entire speech. And, I think the confidence what you build on them, the current society with the kids being a one-way communication with the more of the online learning and an online school, all that, this gives a massive opportunity to them to speak out and bring the hidden talents of them out. So massive thanks, and we are looking forward to bring them along. And Dahami had so much confidence. She she was able to prove herself, how she can be, now it's not the public ready, it's a screen ready, and we saw that massive improvement on that. So we are looking forward to, take both kids to the next levels, and, make them also more confident social speakers and public speakers.
Thank you. Thank you, Yasanta, for your kind words. They're wonderful kids, Dami and Damiru. I had a great time personally. So thanks a lot for trusting us, and kudos to both the kids and the parents as well. Wonderful. Thank you. Anyone else who wants to comment? Or any suggestions that you would like to give after the program?
Sorry. Sir, I'm Ovin. Can I tell?
Yes, go ahead, Ovin, please.
Thank you for teaching me. It was really fun. I am so excited to go to Speak Club now.
Wow, that's great. That's great. I'll definitely send you the invitation. And I had a wonderful time, Ovin, every week when you joined the program. Thanks a lot. Well done.
So can I say?
Yes.
I have given so many speeches before this, but after meeting you only, I realized that I have so many things to correct while giving a speech. Now I'm very confident, and thanks a lot for your efforts and hard work.
My pleasure, Harun. You are in fact an inspiration. For one, you have this wonderful motto in life, about being kind to pets, right? And in fact, when I worked with you, I saw how hardworking you are, because every suggestion I give you, every recommendation I give you, took it pretty seriously, and you would implement that at the next session, right? So thank you for that, and well done. You've come a long way. Great job. Keep it up.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Hi, Farviz. This is Farah, Anik and Ayan's mom.
Hi, Farah.
Hi. So I agree 100% with those parents who spoke before, and my kids, they were quite reluctant to join at the beginning, and I could still remember that they said that they are joining the class for the sake of me, sake of their mom. So, but then soon after they started their classes, they really enjoyed it, and they started concentrating, and I see a big improvement, especially not only when it comes to speaking ability, but also memorizing ability. And I would like to especially thank you for assigning teachers separately for them to help memorizing. So I could see that it is helping with their studies as well. And especially when it comes to Anik, he was trying to say what he has already written, but then today I noticed that he missed certain sentences, and he did not show it at all. So he just put up his own words, and he was able to make the speech without any interruptions. So I think the credit goes to you and your amazing staff. Thank you very much. And I think they themselves really wanted to continue with the next levels. So I don't have any influence on this, to be honest. Okay, thank you.
That's great news. Thanks a lot for that. That's a lot of kindness. And I think it was Hamra who worked with Anik and Ayan, right?
Yes, Hamra. Yes, she's amazing. Yes. Yeah. Within one session, they were able to memorize the whole speech. I think again there was 2 sessions to see them doing well, but then I think within a single session they were able to do memorize the speech. That was really amazing, which I could not do it at all at home.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. The best part about this feedback is, I'm so glad that I have this wonderful team with me. These amazing coaches who are going out of the way to help the kids. So thanks a lot.
Yeah,
thanks
agree 100%. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
A big thank you to
Yeah, I just this is Saira's dad, Farhan.
Hi, Farhan.
Hi, Farviz. Yeah, I just want to say a big, thank you to yourself for all the effort you put in, and as well as the, not forgetting the coaches, all the hard work they put in. Yeah, this is amazing what you've been doing, and also, all the speakers today. Listening to all your speeches, you've been doing a great job. I can see. I've been watching even the previous Speakarnival, and can see, the improvement you made. The speeches sound amazing. To see all the preparation that everyone puts in, and even that Saira thinks about now when preparing for speeches, and preparing for anything in general. Like, you can see the work behind the scenes that they think, put into thinking and, preparing anything. So yeah, I mean, a lot of great skills they're picking up in addition to the speaking, and also might be worth mentioning, listening to these other life lessons that the other speakers are talking about. So helps these other children like Saira as well, like learn about the experiences that other kids around the world are experiencing, and helps her, sort of learn all these great life lessons, so which is really helpful. So yeah, thank you for sharing. And yeah,
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. I think that's a huge insight that you mentioned in the end, that kids learn to empathize with others. I think that is also something very important. These social emotional skills, and this, the skill to empathize with someone else is also crucial, especially in this, not only now, but it has always been important, but now this word is trending, empathy, emotional intelligence. But public speaking and this networking gives kids the opportunity, especially when they listen to these stories, to learn their stories, learn about their lives, and empathize with them. And also, coming to Saira, amazing, right? I'm pretty astounded with her growth as a speaker. From the time she joined, enrolled into level 1, and by the time she has completed level 2, I think within that continuum, the transformation is pretty amazing. So kudos to you, Saira. Well done. Good job.
Thank you. Yeah, kudos to you, all of you. Thanks.
Thanks. All right. Anyone else? Any other comments?
I'm Mutumanya's mother, and my other
Yes,
daughter is
Donna.
also following the course. I have to thank you, Mr. Farviz, not on behalf of my daughter, but for the whole class, because I have been following them from the day one, and I have seen how they have been growing, how they have been improving their skills, and it's amazing. So thank you for everything. Thank you for this passion of yours to teach them what you know, to get them to bring themselves out, to bring their talents out, and especially the trust. I don't know whether you remember, you once, Shakaina wanted to share the screen one day, and you said, okay, you can share, but then Shakaina said, nobody else, no other teacher allows us to share the screen, but you said, I trust you. I think that was it that brought them all this far, because you trusted them. Even we didn't know that, okay, children were capable of all this. But that trust, especially during this COVID time where the children were imprisoned at home, they were like lost. They didn't know where to go, what to do. They had schoolwork, but they didn't have any social activities. But that trust, you trusted our children, I think a lot. That is how they perform. They have gone this far. They have carried themselves this far. So I thank you for your passion, and for the passion of teaching, and for the passion of having this thought of transforming these children of our country, giving them something for their future. And by giving them something for their future is giving the whole country something from yours, and through them you're giving something for the whole country through them. So thank you so much for all that you have done, and I wish you all the best, and I hope that you and all the coaches and your family will have the strength to carry on this, and do something great ahead for our country. Thank you so much again.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Doctor. Doctor, you have been a pillar of strength for Speak, if you didn't know that, because every time I usually get a message from you or a word of encouragement, and you always, there were criticisms and also, inquiries about, our background. So you are a concerned parent and also a very sincere parent who came out. And I think I need to tell this, parents like you are crucial to Speak because there are times where we need this reassurance as well. It's like a guiding light that shows us, okay, you're heading towards the right direction. And also sometimes we need criticisms as well to show us, okay, fine, you might have to note this down. You might have to address this issue. So comments from parents like you are, priceless to our growth. So thanks a lot once again for being that pillar of strength for Speak always, and wishing you all the very best in what you do.
And thank you for taking them as constructive criticisms, because that had helped them, helped
Yes.
all the children in this academy to gain something. So I'm glad that I was of any help to you. I'm so glad.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Doctor. Anyone else has anything else to say?
This is Pramod.
Yes, sir.
Sir, thank you very much for the service, and you teach us a lot. We learned a lot. When I was coming first, I couldn't speak. I couldn't speak correctly. Now I can speak. I think it's because of you. Thank you very much.
Well, Pramod, you should know, from day one, after every lesson, you would stop me and ask some questions, right? That shows how dedicated you are, how hardworking you are. You're only 13 years old, I think. And with this attitude of yours, with this passion for learning, no matter what you do, it's going to take you a long way. Mark my words, you're going to be somewhere in the pinnacle someday. And people are going to look up to you for a lot of things. Mark my words. You've got this very unique attitude. So, well done.
Thank you.
Hi, sir. I'm Ovin's mother.
Hi.
I'm really thankful to you because I saw a big transformation of Ovin. Before joining to Speak, he was very nervous to talk in public. So I think little by little, he enjoyed your lessons very much. And I think all the time you helped Ovin to develop his talking skills. And you have given freedom to talk to them and write to them. And I think it's amazing. I have seen a big transformation of all the kids. He has completed his level 1 and also a level 2. So keep it up, your good work. Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. I in fact loved working with Ovin, a child full of energy and enthusiasm. I still remember him telling me when he moved houses, how excited he was. So I have some really great memories with him. Thank you. Any other comments?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
I told this speech to my sister principal. She said, this is amazing. I can't hear you.
That's really good. I'm not surprised. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. I'm not surprised that your sister principal told that it's amazing because you are amazing. Right? I'm not surprised. And it's only going to get multiplied. And that amazing Muthumanya is only getting multiplied, right? By 2s and 4s and 8s, it's going to get multiplied because you are amazing in a lot of ways.
I told this to my friends and the other class.
What did they say about it?
I told this speech to my friends and to the other class.
So what did they have to say about it?
They didn't say anything, the other side class, but my friends did speak a little bit of me.
Right. Wow. Okay. That's great. Looks like someone's going to talk of the town. That's good. Right. Okay. Is there any? Yes.
Today I'm really happy.
Okay. Why is that?
Because I got to tell the names.
You should know you did a wonderful job, Chewan. Great work.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Others also did good speeches.
Yeah, they did indeed.
Yes, sir.
Shekina, darling, do you want to say something? Were you trying to say something?
Yes, sir. Like when my father sent me that he was going to put me in public speaking, I literally just deleted the message because I thought it was going to be like having school online and just like taking down notes in the textbook or something. But I really regretted it after the first session because you just did fun games and stuff, and I really liked the first session. Now I really regret what I did.
You light up the class, right? So we light every session with you as well. Thank you for being there, Shekina. Good job. And you did a wonderful job tonight, right? Amazing speech.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, my class teacher also commented, "Thank you, sir. It was a great experience."
Oh, thank you. Thanks a lot. I'm so glad that your class teacher liked it, Yasasvi. Okay.
Excuse me, sir, I'm Ovin.
Yes, Ovin.
Do you know Tanuli is one of my school friends?
Oh, is she? Oh, that's great.
Yes.
You didn't know that she had joined Speak? You didn't know that?
No, I
Oh,
know.
You were surprised to see her here?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm glad that you found out each other.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Any other comments? Is there anyone else who wants to speak? All right. If there is no one, Ammar, can we share the certificates? Haya Istikar, congratulations on completing level 1. Halal Ashraf, congratulations on completing level 1. Ayana Harris, congratulations on completing level 1. Anif Ahmed, congratulations on completing level 1. By the way, before I announce the next certificate, kids don't leave. Don't leave. There's a photo that we need to take at the end, so please don't leave. It will take no more than 2 minutes. Ayan Ahmad, congratulations on completing level 1. Risindi Shaina Bandar, congratulations on completing level 1. Dahami Mihinadi Surya Peruma, congratulations on completing level 1. Pramod Metsara Nanayakara, congratulations on completing level 1. Damiru Hirunada Surya Peruma, congratulations on completing level 1. S. Jaruti, congratulations on completing level 1. Harun Rashad, congratulations on completing level 1.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Zaid Istikar, congratulations on completing level 2. Damitri Ekanayaka, congratulations on completing level 2.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Yogeshwaran Lidukshita, congratulations on completing level 2. Yogeshwaran Rishika, congratulations on completing level 2. Listen the Lilage, congratulations on completing level 2. Mahiru Jayasingha, congratulations on completing level 2. Sahiru Jayasingha, congratulations on completing level 2. Yasasri Ekanayaka, congratulations on completing level 2. You're welcome. Nadir Naushad, congratulations on completing level 2. Mark Lawrence, congratulations on completing level 2. Sethu Shetaina Bandara, congratulations on completing level 2. Abriana Lawrence, congratulations on completing level 2.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Mutumania Piris, congratulations on completing level 2.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Oveen Senthilakure, congratulations on completing level 2.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Nishida Jenul Vijayatilaka, congratulations on completing level 2. Zaid Zaki, congratulations on completing level 2. Muhammad Arsat, Muhammad Bilal, congratulations on completing level 2.
Thank you, sir.
Elisha, you're welcome. Elisha Natari Kadilian, congratulations on completing level 2.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Saira Farhan, congratulations on completing level 2.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. All right, kids, Amar, if you can please put on gallery view. All right, now you know the drill, right? If you liked the Speakrunning show, 1 thumbs up. If you love Speakrunning show, 2 thumbs up, and the widest smile ever, right? Amar, are we ready?
Excuse me.
Yes.
Excuse me. Did we get Methuja's certificate? We just got a power cut and I didn't see all the certificates.
Amar, did we show Methuja's certificate? Methuja Vanika Sekara?
I believe we did.
Right.
I'll just have a look.
I think it was only confirmed today, right? Methuja was joining the Speakrunning. Methuja's mother. Methuja's mother, are you there? Hello? I think she might have dropped out. Okay. Amar, until she joins, can you put us all in gallery view?
Yes, we are on gallery view. Can
Gallery,
all
okay.
speakers switch their videos on, please?
Yeah, please. I can't see you because I'm joining through the phone because we have this wonderful power cut in Candy. So I can't see the gallery view. Right, Amar, on your count, right? 3, 2, 1. Can you say that, Amar?
Yes, sure. So, like Mr. Harvey said, if you like the Speakrunning, 1 thumbs up. If you loved it, 2 thumbs up, and the biggest smile ever. We're going in 3, 2, 1. Right, we got our pictures.
Okay.
Now,
have you got it?
Yes.
Okay. I smile so wide my jaw. Like... All right, kids. So with that, can you all hear me? Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. Okay, that's good. So Amar, can you invite the moderator to give offer the vote of thanks, please?
Go. Very interesting and inspiring keynote speech. The 30th Speakrunning has come to a close. I'm sure all of you enjoyed today's event. It was a wonderful event with an array of interesting speeches and one life-changing keynote speech. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank everyone who made this possible. I would like to thank our keynote speaker, Ms. Shamina Pali, the students for enlightening and entertaining us with their wonderful speeches. Role players on Speak Academy, coaches, parents, guests, our Zoom host for today, and finally, Mr. Fadil Imamuddin. I wish you all the very best and a very good night. Thank you.
Good night, everyone, and have a great weekend. Bye.
Bye, sir.
Sir, good night, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Bye, sir.
Bye, sir.
Take care. Good night.